legend, if you want to call me that.
What have you done this time?
So I don't like
That tone
of this time. I think when you find out what I've done, you will go, wow, I couldn't have done that.
Well, you've saved children in the bay, or
I've saved children. I've done charity work. I've done
helicopter with Jack Klugman.
Yeah,
all sorts of stuff.
I had an ice bath.
Oh wow!
So you did go. Well, it was a real wow.
Yeah, where was that?
Well, I go to a place. It's called Regen. I'm like giving it a plug.
Oh, gee, it sounds a bit Regen. It sounds like something from, where they freeze your body. You know what I mean? Like cryogenics.
I noticed that Kate Langbrook on her Instagram, she does the thing where she goes into where it takes your body down below zero. Cryovacking. No, that's where you put them in a plastic bag, isn't it?
Does she?
Yeah.
Well, she's always been a bit kooky.
Well, nothing wrong with doing a bit of kooky.
I know that, but taking your body temperature, I don't know about that.
No, okay. So there are two types. It's the big fat at the moment. Everyone's doing it. I mean, everyone's doing it.
Well, the only people that I know that do it are footballers and athletes. They do it, don't they?
Yeah.
They do ice baths.
Because, I go to this place where they've got the infrared and then they've got the ice bath.
Do they get the ice from the 7-Eleven? The bloke goes down there. We did eight bags today. Glenn's coming in.
And you're in the nude in the ice bath and they come and pour ice all over you. Now, this is what's interesting.
Yeah.
This is a real deal ice bath, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because the water is chilled to 3 degrees. As opposed to this glass of soda water that I have here.
With ice in it?
With ice in it. What happens is if you just people fill the bath up and put ice on top, doesn't mean the water is icy. It just means you've got ice on top. But if the water is chilled to 3 degrees, that means all of the water is really cold. I'll put my hand in there and it really hurt. Okay? What are you going to say?
Well, is it a normal-looking bath or like a spa?
It's a fancy one. It's a normal-looking bath, fancy. But I didn't go. I only went up to under my armpits. I didn't go. I couldn't get in all the way. I literally couldn't get my hands in. It was too cold.
How long did you do it
Well,
for?
there's the big thing. This is what makes me a legend. 1% of people most people only make about a minute. Guess how many minutes I did?
Minute and a half.
I have banged out the big 3.
3 minutes?
Yeah, and you're not allowed, the first time you do it, you're not allowed to. And a sad old man like me, you're not allowed to go more than, you can't go past 3 minutes because you're going to hypothermia.
A heart attack when you hypothermia.
Yeah. Well, I said to the guy, because I was going there because my back's been bad. And I said, I'm worried that if I step in there, that I'll go
back spasm,
and I won't be able to get out. And he goes, well, for a start, you got to do it in your bathers. So I thought, I'm going to do it in my bathers, and he's going to stand at the door. So he stood at the door watching me.
Bit weird. Bit weird. Best part of his day. At least it was only 3 minutes. How much is this? I mean, what are we paying for 3 minutes of an ice bath?
You worry
$80?
Well,
probably more, I reckon.
No, you're right. I did what is called a contrast, which is which is a knob on your television, isn't it?
Yeah, the contrast. Yeah, absolutely. Never knew what that was for.
So you get the heat with the infrared from the back, which is great, and then you go and have an ice bath afterwards, and then you go home and
after the ice bath, you go straight into a hot shower, or
no.
Did you have a shower after it?
No, don't think so.
No,
because there's something about the being cold, and then about half an hour later, you start to shake a bit because it all comes out. Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah. So if you're down the shops or something, you get in here. Can you give us some?
Yeah, Mum, got any money for some grapes?
For us, man, I'm a bit shaky.
Weird. It's a weird thing to do. It's very Scandinavian, isn't it? The Russian kind of ice bath.
I think it is a fad, and I think in years to come we'll look back and go, remember when people used to jump in ice baths? Remember there was that poor ice thing on your head thing? Remember pour a bucket of ice on your head? Remember that?
Yeah, the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, stupid.
No.
But
icing works for athletes though.
Yeah, the body is like hot inside with inflammation, and you're cooling the inflammation.
Is that what it does?
What's cooling as you get older, you get bits get inflamed.
Yeah, right.
So you got to cool them down, and then your body gives you this rush of. I don't think it needs to be ice. I think it just needs to be a bit cold.
Wow. But isn't it interesting? Initially with an injury, it's ice, and then it's heat later on, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. God, we're like physios, you know.
Well, I'm only a notch away from being qualified, really.
Yeah, you really are.
Stuff,
You really are.
You know.
If you sign up to do a physiotherapy degree, they probably go, "Oh, there's a lot of things you don't have to do."
Well,
other qualifications.
we better watch the road we're going down here because Hamish Blake got into trouble.
Oh yeah, but talking about doctors,
Talking about him, and I don't know why he got into trouble because it was obvious that he was just
joking,
and I don't.
He could fake being a doctor for a day.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Well, what job do you reckon you could fake for a day? So the other guy said,
what did he say?
Andy Lee said Ponzi scheme manager, which is fair enough because that's all fakery anyway.
Yeah.
So you know what a Ponzi scheme is? Just getting people to put money in, and then you're using other people's money to make other money. Anyway,
yeah, architect.
Ponzi. It's a pyramid scheme. And Jack, the other guy, said builder. I would say builder. No, a bit hard.
I just said architect.
Oh, you reckon architect?
I'd go for architect.
Yeah.
Or caravan park owner.
Yeah. I can boost juice employee.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You want a Bananarama? All right, I can work that one out. What's in that? Banana?
Yeah.
Yogurt?
I mean, you didn't fake it, but you were a hot dog salesman.
I was a hot dog salesman.
Yeah, and you could probably, along that line.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy, but say being a doctor or a dentist, nah, too hard.
But could you fake, get ready with the music, being on a podcast that you made up, that you're doing with a friend of yours?
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome to Somehow Related Now. Please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Yeah, here we are. Welcome to the podcast. I should mention, I wanted to mention Cal Wilson.
Oh, very sad.
A friend of mine who passed away. Most people would know her listening. Great comedian. So young, 53.
It's just incredible. Very sad.
She's a lovely person, and I did Spicks and Specs with her a lot, actually.
Yeah, I did a few panel shows. I probably didn't do as much as you, but always being around her was always a delight, whether it was on screen or off screen.
Yeah.
Genuinely funny and just one of those people just easy to be around and fun and great. She just had a great energy. She's one of those people that if you saw her on TV and you liked her, you'd probably like her even more. If not even more, she's exactly the same. There's no airs and graces about her.
No, she was lovely.
Yeah.
So it's very sad.
So our thoughts go out to her.
Yeah, Chris and her husband and Digby, who's a teenager. That's really tough.
It's really tough. It just reminds us that we need to,
embrace life. Not that she lived a very healthy lifestyle. We just had chips and I'm drinking Coke. There's no way she would eat any of that. No, she didn't even drink coffee. So embrace. What do they say? Embrace life.
Yep.
Anyway, Valet Cal. Well, let's get to topics.
Just one other thing.
Yeah.
We haven't had a review. If you like the show, give us a review. We say that only because reviews help us.
Yeah, go on. Give us a review.
If we've given you if we've entertained you through some time.
Or not.
Yeah, or not. I don't really want a bad review.
No.
But it would be great because it does help our keeping on.
Exactly. Give us a review.
And I have to add one more thing.
Yeah,
Public service announcement.
Yeah.
I was in the supermarket browsing. It's quite meditative for me.
Yeah.
A lady comes up and goes, "Oh, hello, Glenn." And I go, "What? Hello?" I didn't recognise her. She goes, I'm from the bank." See, this is where it's hard because I only recognize. Well, I didn't recognise her because with the bank you only see the top.
Yeah, it's true through the window,
and you only see so I'm used to her being framed.
Yeah,
so I didn't recognise her. And she goes, love the podcast. And by the way, you're talking about toasted sandwiches. I got the number one for you.
What's that?
Wait for it. Get your pens out, everybody. I haven't tried it yet.
No.
Toasted, pan toasted, cheese, apple, and jam of your choice.
Ooh, interesting.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It sounds very German or something.
Do you think?
A bit Dutch or something, yeah. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I got the recipe right. Apple I like. Jam I like. Cheese I like.
Oh, yeah.
You've got some contrasting things happening there, and then pan-fry that up. Apparently,
combo and a half.
If you've got socks on, they'll get blown off.
Okay. Look out. Well, Sam, what are our topics? We got to get two topics and see how they're related.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's springtime.
Springtime.
A lot of things happening around the world.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of
bad stuff.
A lot of bad stuff happening. I wonder what
she'll tap into.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
China and salt.
Well, I love salt.
Do you? And hang on, this is interesting. Do you add salt to everything?
Not everything, but when I'm cooking, I put in a bit of salt. Yeah.
Well, apparently that's a really good thing to do. I'm not a big salt person. I learnt years ago because of blood pressure and stuff. You don't have too much.
No,
salt.
not too much.
But
I remember a guy I work with used to pour salt over his meal.
Me too.
Pour it.
Like almost
pour it.
unscrew the top and almost pour it on.
And then he had a stroke later. So I always think of that. And he was healthy. So I'm like, I
reckon this must be quite addictive once you get into the salty.
Well, we just had fries then, and the salt on them were good. You get fries from McDonald's or fish and chips. The salt's tasty.
What's the difference between salt and chicken salt?
Well, chicken salt's got a flavour in it. It's an Australian invention, chicken salt.
As we said the other day, it doesn't taste like chicken, though.
No, it's like chicken flavouring, kind of.
Like all the chickens got together and decided what salt was best for them.
There's also celery salt. There's celery salt.
I had a recommendation from my brother, Celtic salt. Quite hard to say if you've got a list.
Celtic salt or
Celtic?
Celtic salt.
Apparently, it's good for your blood pressure, but it's one of those.
Because too much salt's bad for your blood pressure.
Too much it's bad for your blood pressure, but apparently it's the minerals in the salt.
Okay.
Celtic salt's got the potassium and the magnesium. Oh, such an expert. But
what about pink Himalayan salt?
I think that's not far off it.
Yeah, but have you seen those photos of the guys that mine it?
No.
There's like people that mine the salt in India, I think it is. Yeah,
I've seen those salt Himalayan salt lamp.
Yeah.
It's like an orange lamp that you put in your room and it balances the ions or the ions.
Well, remember the salt mines in Russia? There's where you got sent. Like if you were bad, you'd be sent to the salt mines in the Gulag. Working the salt mines was always the threat.
They go, right, here's your tray of salt shakers. And you have to go in there and one by one fill up your little salt shakers.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's a bit more advanced than that.
And then, do I have to screw the top on as well? Oh, God, this is terrible.
You see salt, are they like near the beach, there's salt farms or something they're called, where they get salt out of the water?
Salt. Yeah, like if they want to get the land speed record, it's always on a salt plane.
Yeah, in Lake Eyre in South Australia.
Yeah. Salt is not manufactured. It happens.
It's from the ocean, isn't it?
Is it from the ocean?
Minerals. It's minerals, but it's in the ocean, isn't it?
So in other words, the ocean came up, went back down again, left some salt behind. Do they refine salt or is salt just salt?
Yeah, I think they refine it.
I wonder how they refine
like
it.
Sugar, you'd assume. We're not food technologists here.
Glenn's
almost a physio, but he's not.
Well, I reckon if I just read one more paper, I can, because I've been getting a bit of cupping lately for my back and a bit of needling.
Yeah.
And a few exercises with...
covering off a lot there.
I know that salt will...
Make you thirsty?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do you like anchovies?
I love anchovies.
Do they make you thirsty?
Yeah, I love them though.
So do you, because I go, eat something that might be bad, like a pizza or something, and then about an hour later go,
really thirsty.
An unquenchable thirst.
Yeah.
And you go, need more. Your body really sings out to you going, give me more of that.
Yeah.
Now, salt can dissolve snow?
Oh, yeah. It can.
Is that right?
Yeah, they pour it on snow. You're right.
Yeah. So it must be something in it to... I know when people want to get their driveways clear.
They put salt.
Yeah.
And also, it's used to salt meat. So if you've got... They use it in the olden days to salt their meat. So it, would
keep it. It's like a preservative.
Yeah, it must be.
So, because they didn't have proper refrigeration. They just chuck a whole lot of salt in it. I do notice that when I see people cook a steak, Alex, friend of the show, you see him apply... When do you apply the pepper to your steak if you're cooking it?
Beforehand.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know that.
Is that what he does? Or
he does, yeah.
How much salt does he put on his steak?
Not a lot. Just a bit. Just a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt.
Right.
I stand there and watch the master and take it all in. I don't learn anything, but he's great. You can just tell by touching it how it's going.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's this one.
And you say, get your dirty fingers off my steak?
What have you been scratching? Because they can do it from feel. My theory on a steak is...
Yeah. I had a steak last night. I cooked it.
Medium rare, steak goes on one side. Some say seal. I don't know how to do it like that.
Yeah.
Seal.
Yeah.
Then, and Alex will probably have a better way of doing this, put the steak there, and when the blood gets to the top, flip it then.
Oh, okay.
When
Good
you see
idea.
the beads of blood,
Yeah, I see that.
you flip it then, that's medium rare.
Right,
I don't know how to get the other side right, though, because I don't know whether the blood will come through, but you need to then...
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know.
Salt.
Salt.
So you would like salted chips in a bag?
Oh, yeah. Salt and vinegar. Salt. Just plain salt. Oh, yeah.
If you're on death row, and I'm going to say we're cutting back on death row meal, we can only afford a bag of chips. What bag of chips would it be?
Probably corn chips. Can you have corn chips on death row?
Yeah.
Yeah, CC's do a very good tasty cheese corn chip.
Right.
And if not, I just like plain chips. I like thins. Just plain chips.
Yeah.
What, do you like plain or?
Oh, what are those ones in the copper kettle? Is that the ones?
Yeah, they're like a kettle
but
chip.
it feels like there's a lot of oil in there.
Yeah,
but it is good.
I'm not a huge fan of them.
I reckon I like that standard crinkly.
Oh yeah,
crinkle cut.
Yeah, like a ruffle.
Yeah, and what are they? Who makes those?
Oh, they don't really make them anymore. But Colvin used to make
them.
Yeah, they were good.
Be hard if you.
Oh, you know, Smith's is the closest thing we got to that now. And I had some of them the other day. They were a good chip.
Smith's chips.
They're just a plain.
Do you reckon?
So much salt.
Was that the owner? You reckon his name was Smith?
I reckon.
And that was the best he could come up with.
I know, Smith's chips.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, we've talked about salt a fair bit.
Have we?
Should we talk about China?
What about desal plants?
Oh, yeah, there's one down near Phillip Island, the desal. Yep.
I was on a... wanker.
Another cruise.
I was. And it had a desal plant on it.
Wow.
And it was only a small boat. I was having a shower and I said to the guy... I better not use up all the water. He goes, don't worry about it. It's a desal plant on.
Oh, well, from the ocean.
It's from the ocean. And desal it and then probably take the salt and put it on your chips.
Amazing.
It's amazing. And we've got a desal plant in Victoria that is in cotton balls. Is that what they call?
No, they use it on a regular basis.
Well, the dams are at like 95%.
Yeah, but they've been using it for farming and stuff.
Oh, good on them because it keeps it going.
Because I thought, is it like someone was saying that, like, it's just sitting there doing nothing. Then I looked it up and it has actually been used.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You started up and, crank. It's probably, they're probably,
well, the manager probably
isn't great.
Needs to fill his pool in.
It's
near Wonthaggi. They've got a lot of fountains. I bet they've got a lot of fountains going down there. Hey, who needs water? We've got heaps.
There is a lot of water around at the moment.
Well, whatever you want.
Yeah, they say, what are we, El Nino?
It's one of them.
We're coming into dry, I think. Yeah, so we still need to be. I think people learned a lot through our last drought. They learned.
I remember the drought. Yeah, we got water tanks.
We got down to like 25%.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, that's why we built the desal plant.
Yeah,
it'll come again. Don't worry about that.
Oh, it's worth building. Yeah. I reckon that something like that's worth building.
I
don't think it's a bad thing.
Okay, but here's one more thing about salt.
Yeah,
I've converted you to
swimming.
Yes.
Yeah, I love salt water.
Yeah. Why do you love it?
Well, no, it makes you feel good.
And can you work out why?
No, well, why?
I don't know why either. All I know is, do you leave the salt on or do you wash it straight off?
No, I leave it on for a bit.
If I go for a swim and then I'm driving all the way back to Melbourne, I have to wash it off because it makes me sleepy.
And also, wreck your car. If you're sitting in your bathers, it'll wreck your Juco, won't it? Wreck your seat covers, won't it?
Oh,
on the Audi. The salt water wrecks stuff, doesn't it? It does.
Absolutely.
It wrecks stuff.
It is brings on rust. So you need to.
Do you? I mean, you go in little bathers. Do you then just go to the shops?
Little bathers. I think they're quite.
Do you wander up to the shops in your bathers, or?
That's a good question.
Do you get in your car and drive off in your bathers?
No.
Oh, okay. In fact,
okay. I go. Here's my. You want my routine?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Go to the beach. Pop the boot. Go around to open two side doors.
Oh.
Make your own little corral.
You do a nudie change?
Well, of course I do, because I don't want to wear my bathers to the beach. I just don't like the feel of them under my. I don't think anybody does, unless you've run out of underwear and that's the only pair you got left.
Yeah.
Then I put the bathers on, go down, swim on the beach, and then I saw a guy one day take his bathers off at the beach.
Oh, yeah, under the towel.
Under the towel.
Yeah.
And there's no one around. I'll do a quick down, quick down, up, down, and then you've got you're out there, Jerry, and you're loving it every minute of it. You've got your pants on with nothing on. And unfortunately, your bathers have been in the sand.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
They're big. What do you do?
No, I tend to go down on the beach with my bathers on.
And just go home with a towel around you?
Yeah, with a towel around me.
Get in a wet car? A wet bum?
I don't care.
Do you wet the seat?
No, I put a towel on, but I take my rashie off. I take my rashie off if I've got a rashie on. Yeah.
And what sort of bathers are you wearing?
No, just shorts.
You're wearing shorts?
Yeah, I don't wear...
With pockets? No pockets.
No pockets.
You can't have pockets because when you go in the water, it would drag you under. Yeah. See, I'm a what do you call it? Speedo, not Speedo.
Yeah, you're Speedo, man.
Yeah. I don't wear Speedo. I wear funky trunks now. They're called funky trunks.
But they're like a brief, aren't they?
They're a brief. Yeah, I've got photos. You want to see some photos?
Yeah. Not really. Yeah.
All right.
On Facebook. All right, well, let's
anyway,
do...
Salt. Let's
love salt.
Do we give salt thumbs up or thumbs
love
down?
Salt.
I'm going to say let's give it thumbs up.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we're good to have salt in our life. Oh, another thing, if you spill salt... Do you do that thing where you throw it over your shoulder?
No,
what do you do?
I don't believe in that stuff.
I always forget. It was like in the left hand over the right shoulder or in the right hand over the left shoulder. And you throw it in someone's face is also in the kitchen and it gets embarrassing. What are you doing? Oh, it's superstition. Yeah. All right.
China.
Now, Sam isn't going China as in plates.
No, I think she means the country.
Right, okay.
Have you been to China?
Been to Hong Kong. Does that count?
Oh, well, that's China now. Yeah.
I went there.
You're closer than me.
Did a documentary on it just before the handover.
That's right. The one that didn't get up or something.
Are you all right?
Never saw the light of day.
All right. Okay. Maybe I'm not a great travel host.
Was it Postcards Hong Kong or something?
Yeah.
Oh, you and Dermot Brereton? Who else was on
And
it?
I dressed up. Maybe I was a bit racist. Okay, maybe it was a bit inappropriate.
You had the hat. You had the hat.
Yeah, and I did.
You said, "Look, I should do yellow face. What's wrong with it?
And what's what I can do with a chopstick? Oh, I've been picking up that dim sim. Look at that. Look, Is it okay to skewer a dim sim?
That's what I do. I do that.
I don't think it's okay though.
Look, no one's around.
Because it's hard to get a dim sim without flipping it.
Oh yeah. No, you pick it with your hand too.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
So hang on, you go dim sim in fingers straight to mouth.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and it's like 3 bites.
Is it like a shumai where? Hang on. Let's talk about the yum cha. Yeah,
no, they're different though.
See, they're all a bit more floppy.
They're little. Yeah.
So they're 1 bite or 2 bites?
I think they're 1 bite for me.
1 bite for me too.
Yeah, I don't mind them though.
I love them. China. Okay.
China. No, well, you've been to Honkers. So
have you been to China?
No, been to Vietnam. Been to Japan. Been to Thailand.
It surrounded it.
I went right up to Hanoi, which is close to the Chinese border. It's close. I'd love to go to China, but I'm just never. It's never.
Where would you go if you could?
Oh, I go to Beijing.
Yeah, I've heard it's an exciting city.
Shanghai.
What's the population? Is China like the second biggest country in the world? Population in the world?
Yeah.
Something like it's in the billions, isn't it?
Billions.
Like 1.5 billion or something.
Yeah. It's go to Wuhan. There you go, Wuhan.
I know a few of the names.
Yeah. Well, only because of the pandemic, but I'm a big fan of looking at the most popular countries in the world. Because when we go to Europe, you go to somewhere like Rome or Paris, and you're like, how big is this joint? You know what I mean? Like compared to Melbourne.
Oh yeah. So it's not very big.
It's not that big. So so Melbourne's like 5 million. So similar to Sydney, 5 or 6 million.
Yeah.
How big, say, London? You reckon?
How many mil?
Yeah, how many mil?
I go 10.
Yeah. Spot on. 10 million. So that's twice the size of Melbourne or Sydney. Okay. What about Paris? How big is Paris?
Paris, probably smaller than London.
No, it's about 4 or 5.
Yeah,
it's quite
similar to Melbourne.
Yeah. Rome?
What's Sydney? Sydney's 6, isn't it?
Sydney's 6.
Yeah. Rome. Jeez, you're good.
Similar again.
You're good.
Okay, what about this one? Copenhagen. Because I went to a thing the other night and they were talking about, we should be more like Copenhagen and ride the bikes. Then I looked up the population of Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark. How much, you reckon?
2 million.
That's like 500,000.
Really?
Quite small. Okay. Tokyo.
I'm going to say 30 million.
Oh, close. Yeah, it's like it's 25 or 26.
Right,
it's one of the biggest.
Yeah.
Like Mexico City.
I can't keep up with all the numbers. You're good. You're a numbers man.
Okay, Wuhan. Get the Wuhan flu. How big is Wuhan?
Wuhan's small.
No, it's not.
Okay, Wuhan is...
Because when you look at the most popular...
15 million.
11.
Oh, God, I keep on... Because when someone says it's a big number, then you go way over it. That's not how the game should play. You're meant to come under it, and then you're meant to go, no, it's 11.
When you look at the most populated cities in the world, there's about 8 in China that you've never heard of.
Yeah, I know.
Like Wuhan, before the Wuhan flu, before the COVID, we hadn't heard of Wuhan.
Yeah.
But there's 11 million people there. It's incredible. And there's all these other cities like with 8 million, 6 million, heaps of them.
So China...
Yeah, that's my take on China. Thank you.
It's bringing a lot to the table.
It's very populated.
Yeah. And didn't they did they encourage reproduction or did they discourage it? Like, didn't they have a
one-child policy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they discouraged it. So what happened with China, right? There was a communist revolution.
Oh, you're good. Here we go.
Mao, Chairman Mao and his mates.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a lot of infighting and stabbing and And then so he had this cultural revolution where he sent a lot of the academics, and the current Prime Minister, what's his name? The Chinese Prime Minister? Xi Jinping. Just say it quickly, Xi Jinping. He was one of these teenagers that was sent out into the country. So they sent all these uni students and intellectuals into the country to work in the fields and stuff and working.
Why?
Because they believed that they needed to, number one, learn about hard work, and number two, educate the peasants in the rural areas on communist philosophy.
Okay.
And so the current Prime Minister of China, whatever he is, President, Prime Minister, he was a big success story. He did really well.
Doing that.
Yeah. But whereas a lot of people are like, what the fuck are we doing here? It'd be like you. Okay, imagine you're at teachers' college, right?
Yeah.
You're hanging out with the girls, you're doing your drama studies, and you're having fun, you're
Bit
going to see
patronising,
bands.
yeah.
All of a sudden they say, you're going to Deniliquin. What?
But I don't know. But
You're going to work at a farm.
But when you got your school allocation, it was a little bit like that.
Well, that's right.
You're going to Bendigo, or you're going, I don't want to go to Bendigo. I want to go to Carlton or
back in our day,
Melbourne.
When we graduated from teachers' college, depending on your marks was where you got sent. So if you had good marks, you would sent into
in a city.
Inner city or the nice suburbs. Bad marks.
Out you go, buddy.
Oh,
off you pop.
I would have gone to I would have got Broken Hill, I reckon. My marks are terrible.
I would have gone Central Australia.
Yeah.
My marks were
I would have gone to Mars.
Yeah.
My marks were worse than yours. Anyway, so Chairman Mao. But anyway, and then they had the whole Industrial Revolution thing where they just became this powerhouse of making shit. You know?
They're still communist.
Yeah, they're still communist, but the dollar.
There's something happened that has westernised them to a certain extent. Can you own a company there? I think you can, can't you?
You can.
Yeah. So therefore, they got a little mix and match. Bit of both.
The dollar reigns supreme. You know what I mean? And but yeah, it's really interesting. I'd love to go there and check it out. Because it's so big.
You should do a travel show. Dave goes to China.
I'd ask you to be involved, but we know your history of travel shows. It's not good.
I know.
Imagine the travel TV show guy goes, so great, David, Glenn, hang on a minute, that rings a bell.
Let me go through the files here.
Hong Kong.
Here's a big dud.
I can't believe they sent you to Hong Kong. Why don't they just go to Wagga or something just to try out? Hong Kong's a big ask, isn't it?
It is a big ask, but it was because it was about to be handed over. Let's look what it's like now before the changeover. And then there was an uprising, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely, with their umbrellas and stuff. And the Chinese government are known for, I don't want to get us into trouble, right?
Do we have listeners in China?
Possibly. I don't want to get...
Does it make it in?
That's the thing. It may not make it in because they do restrict what internet they get.
Surely they look through the list of ones and they go, well, we like those guys.
So related.
Yeah, they can come
Are they pro-Chinese or anti-Chinese?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Because, the Chinese, they're known for, like, with the Uyghurs, the story of the Uyghurs, they're like the Muslim minority up in the north. Only because my kids have done assignments on them and I've helped them. I've read all about it. And so the Chinese authorities, close down their mosques and stuff and put them in camps, and it's awful. And then Tibet, they control Tibet.
Free Tibet. Remember, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, Richard Gere.
Yeah.
And then
that's where what's his name's from? Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but no.
And he couldn't go back there.
He lives in India. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, if the Chinese government are listing, guys, just,
What's the Forbidden City? It's a big palace, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the biggest palace in the world.
It's like an ancient artifact place. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I went to a couple of those in Vietnam. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else when you think China, what do you think? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Dragon boats? No.
Sweet and sour.
You think Chinese food?
Yeah. I think Chinese food that we have here is a little bit different from what they have there. Okay,
let's just...
What's your number one? Remember we went to that Chinese restaurant with Zwa in great Chinese restaurant.
The great Adam Zwa, the...
Wilfred.
Yeah.
Agony Uncles.
Oh, yeah. Was that Chinese?
That's Chinese. It's Chinese.
I'm going to be boring. I do love a good fried rice.
Same here. But you know what?
They don't have it.
Oh, no, they do. I'll raise you special fried rice.
Oh, special fried rice.
Who just gets fried rice? We need special fried rice.
Yeah. Put special in front of it. We should call this special somehow related.
That is a great restaurant. That's in Chapel Street, South Yarra.
Oh, I apologise. I thought you one we had in Byron Bay. That was Mexican.
Oh, that was Mexican.
I was going to say. I'm imagining going, wow, that's pretty
You
weird.
came to me with Swar to that place in South Yarra on Chapel Street, Oriental Tea House, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Oriental.
Yeah.
Bloody good food. Anyway, number one for me, special fried rice.
And then if you had to share a dish in the middle, I only get one.
That's really hard. I mean, my nostalgia says sweet and sour pork or sweet and sour chicken, but it's pretty full on these days. I really get stuck on special fried rice. If I get a special fried rice,
you'll fill up on the fried rice. Oh. You've always got your eye. It's like a bowl of chips. When the bowl of chips hits the table at a normal restaurant, you're looking at the chips. When fried rice comes out, bang!
And if we ever go with my family, I always go, let's get 2 fried rices.
Yeah.
Secretly, I want one for myself.
It won't. We'll never go to waste.
Oh. I don't know what. I mean, I'm thinking of satay and stuff, but that's not
You're
Chinese.
Getting mixed up. Yeah, you get mixed up.
Okay, so what's your second choice?
But I remember there was a dish you could get, which was, I remember it. Maybe it's not as good as it was, but it was like chicken in batter with a sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, that's sweet and sour chicken
in batter.
Yeah,
is that what you have?
Yeah.
No, you have pork.
It can be pork or chicken.
Very filling.
Yeah, it's full on though. It's got pineapple in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet and sour.
What are the other classic dishes though?
Oh, black bean sauce.
Yeah, no,
black bean, beef and black bean.
Yeah,
beef and black bean.
Yeah, what's another one? You should know.
I should know, but I also just love the entree. I love the dim sims and the spring rolls.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
once I have dim sim, spring rolls, and fried rice, I'm pretty good.
Is there anything better than yum cha?
Yeah, heaps of things.
No, well, we went out to yum cha the other day.
Yum cha's overrated.
Hey,
whoa. And they push that trolley around, don't they? And then they give you the bill.
Hey, you back up. It has to be the best. I'll tell you why.
Did we mention Kate Langbrook before? We did. Yeah, we did.
Mention what?
Kate Langbrook.
What?
Because she's a big yum cha person.
Yes.
And I would go occasionally with her, but I started bagging and she never invited me again.
Why were you bagging?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like.
It's exciting. It's a little table of presents. The presents come out.
The trolley, yeah.
And they go that one. I don't really listen. I just go chuck a few on the table. Then you lift the lid and you go, oh, there's 3. The only problem is if there's 2 of you and there's 3, there's always who was the second one.
But I've got a real thing against bitsy food. That's why I also don't like tapas.
But it's perfect for you. Like we said before, it's one mouthful.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I would, if I went to a Chinese restaurant and they said you've got yum cha or you've got normal service. Give me some special fried rice.
I'm going to go. Here's my order. We
should go and you get your yum cha and I'll just sit there with my special fried
yum cha first. What's the other one where they cook it at the table, which was made up for the Americans?
Oh, teppanyaki. That's Japanese. Where they throw the stuff. They throw the chicken.
Sorry, I apologise. That's been really inappropriate.
I think it's Japanese.
It is Japanese. You're right. Yum cha would win every time for me. Because not only that, we get some yum cha, then we throw in some fried rice.
Yeah.
And you just put a couple of your dumplings, I
like dumplings in fried rice.
You get a whole range of flavours in your mouth. And you go, I don't like that one, but I like that one. Okay, well, you have 2 of those and I'll have 1 of those. And you have 2 of those and it works itself out.
Imagine if you went to China and they had none of that food. Like 0 of that food. Like we just created that food.
I imagine that they have a simpler. I imagine it's got a bit embellished over here.
Yeah.
I mean, like dim sims. Dim sims were created in the gold rush, which we talked about. They were simple hand food for mining, weren't they?
They were. Yeah.
Okay, other things. Terracotta Army.
Yeah, that's another ancient place.
Would you go there?
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Absolutely. I'd like to see the wall. I've never seen the Chinese wall.
No, friends of mine have seen the
Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
Not that great. See, the other day on the news that some Chinese builders had broken a hole in the wall to get easy access to their building site. They just used a bulldozer.
Well, I saw David Copperfield go through the Great Wall of China.
Oh, that's right.
And it was real. It was real. He really went through.
He really did it.
He really did. He went
really
right
did
through.
it.
He walked through. Like, sure, you saw him a shadow. And sure, he you know how he did it?
No.
You want me to tell you? Want me to spoil it?
Yeah.
All he did was goes behind the curtain, gets changed into a helper outfit. You know, like there were some guys helping.
Yeah.
And those guys then have to take that cover and put it on the other side so it can come out the other side. He goes over the other side as a helper, right? Sits up the curtain, and then goes behind the curtain and takes the helper outfit off.
Wow.
See? That's all you do. But it just get changed.
Well, remember the one he did where he made the
Statue of Liberty
disappear and he just moved the audience?
He's just rotated the audience out to sea or out where the...
That's pretty amazing, though.
But that's what tricks are.
They're just simple often.
It's like the trick of how we do this show. This whole show is on auto cue.
It's AI. It's AI.
It's AI.
Well,
how long before do you reckon we'll get an AI podcast? No. Hello, I'm Glenn.
Yeah.
And I'm Dave. And a couple of likely fellas that have some jokes. And that's what
AI is not very funny, though. It's very earnest.
Yeah. As I said, AI is like a brochure.
It's like a brochure.
Yeah, quite a good brochure.
What
else? Tiananmen Square. Well, that was a big
terrible.
day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that a wonderful moment? Didn't he put a flower in the...
We talked about that on this podcast, and someone had a crack at us about getting it wrong. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, the guy...
What did we say?
Well, they don't actually know what happened to that guy.
Oh.
The guy... Because I said he just got mowed over by the tank, but no, people were arguing about what actually happened to that guy. Because he was there with his shopping bags. Remember? He just sort of wandered up with his shopping bags.
Yeah. Geez, good if we get him on the line.
Yeah.
You got his number?
Don't have his number.
Well, then we could settle the whole argument.
Well, that's the thing about those countries. Everyone talks about, we've got dictators in Australia. Mate, try having a protest in China. Good luck. You know what I mean? Like, try protesting in Hong Kong.
Well...
Because they're just brutal. They'll just lock you up. I don't care.
Okay. Is this inappropriate?
Yeah. What?
Who does that great routine about you can't... Talk about disputing something. You can't dispute the bill at a Chinese restaurant?
No, I haven't heard that. I think
it's Bill Sheft. You can't dispute the bill at the Chinese restaurant. You go, hey, buddy, I didn't have the TV antenna, and I only had one of the wheelbarrow.
Right. He's talking about what the Chinese language looks
Chinese
like.
writing,
Yeah, funny.
What about the Chinese New Year? When's that?
Oh, yeah, when is that?
It feels like it's a bit later.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are you? I know what I am. Do you know what you are?
I don't know.
I'm a rooster.
Oh, look, yeah, well, you are. I'm probably the pig. Or the bear. Something slovenly.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you believe it? I have friends of mine who really believe it.
No, I don't believe any of that.
No, you're smart. You don't want to believe it.
Well, name some famous Chinese Australians. Because we've got a lot of Chinese in Australia.
That's a really good thing to ask. And really could be really inappropriate.
Yeah, because we'll say Po, and then you're like, she's not Chinese.
Yeah, she's Vietnamese or something.
Well, we don't.
Yeah.
Adam Law.
I don't know.
I've done a show with him.
What's Sam Pang?
Yeah, no, he's Chinese.
Is he?
Yes.
Half Chinese.
Half Chinese. Dad's Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've named one correctly.
Yeah.
Sam Pang.
What about, I'm thinking of...
Ronnie Chang?
Amdo's Vietnamese.
Amdo's Vietnamese. Ronnie Chang is Malaysian Chinese. So you know a lot of countries have
What
their
does
own...
that mean?
Well, his parents are born in Malaysia. Because, in Malaysia, there's Indian Malaysians, there's native Malaysians, or indigenous Malaysians.
No, I don't know.
And there's Chinese Malaysians, all right? And so the Chinese...
Are there Malaysian Malaysians?
Yeah, I think they're the indigenous ones. Yeah, right. Yeah. Because I think... And so anyway, the Chinese, settled... there's Chinese South Africans. There's like Chinese Australians.
Yeah.
And so Ronnie is an example of a Chinese people that settled probably hundreds of years ago, and then his parents are what you call Chinese Malaysian.
Yes.
Yeah. But if for some thinking music, we should play a bit of Ronnie. Because he's very funny. When he talks about Chinese stuff, about the difference between Chinese parents and Anglo parents and...
Oh, that'd be good. Does he do a bit on that, does he?
Yeah, and he does stuff about, the Chinese people running the government and stuff. It's funny. It's really funny. We wouldn't take a day off. I can't do Ronnie's voice, but, no Christmas.
Ronnie Chang. I think that'll be the first bit of stand-up we've ever played. We haven't played any stand-up on...
Probably.
I don't know.
But let's just say before we play Ronnie Chang, we discovered him. He's a Melbourne. I
don't want to brag.
He was at Melbourne Uni. He started doing stand-up.
Well,
me and you saw him very early on.
We saw him very early on at the Comics Lounge. And
I saw him before that. Anyway, go on. He performed in this very pub the first night I did comedy here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And did you ruffle him on the top of the head and said, good on you, kid?
Yeah, right. You can do all right, mate.
Yeah.
You can do fine.
Yeah. You got any recipes?
Well, the thing about Ronnie is... that he's so polite off stage.
Yes.
So when you see him on stage, he's quite, sort of aggressive. He's got
which
attitude.
I love.
No, I love it too.
I love it.
But I was so surprised when I first saw him because I'd met him a lot off stage, but I'd never seen him on stage. Anyway, the first thing I said to him, have you got management? Because I thought, this kid's going to go places.
Oh, you said the same thing. I
said, do you want me to be your manager, I think? Is that what I said?
You said to him, I'm going to get Glenn Robbins to have a look at you.
Yeah.
And he's got connections.
I pulled out a contract and I get 10% now.
No, I saw him and I went, holy shit, this guy's real good. He's like off the charts.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to Jeff Stilson, American comedian, who obviously worked for Letterman and had a lot of connections over in the US.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, I think their relationship continued. I'm not sure how much, but then he went over there and ended up doing the
Daily Show.
Yeah, the Daily Show, and still doing it, and still doing well, and still doing Netflix specials.
Oh, incredible!
And haven't seen him since.
No, He came back the other day and did Rod Laver Arena.
Here?
Yeah, Margaret Court, I think, which is next to Rod Laver. It's a big stadium. Oh, yeah, Ronnie did. Yeah, he came back. Yeah.
He did? Oh, wow.
Some of the other comics caught up with him, yeah, like Naz and Nazine and people like that. Yeah.
I would have loved to have caught up with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He probably won't remember
I think
me.
he'd remember you. He's a bit young for Kath and Kim, though, you know what I mean? But maybe his mum watched it.
Well, I used to talk to him. We gave him a ride home. We talked in the car.
Yeah,
You know, if I'm giving you someone a ride home from the comedy world.
Oh, he's very respectful.
Yeah.
Very respectful.
That means that I respect you.
Well, let's hear a bit of Ronnie. We'll probably play this
as thinking music?
Yeah, he'll probably sue us, but whatever. We're going to have a crack. Here we go.
It's such a weird stereotype to have associated with your ethnicity, right? That stereotype of like Asian parents wanting their kids to be doctors, right? It's like such a weird thing to have on your race. Like, what is that? Is that good? Is that bad? I thought it was like a good thing. Apparently it's like worthy of mockery, right? Asian parents wanting their kids to be doctors. It's weird because it's true, right? I know because my parents were the same way. They just wanted us to be doctors. It was like this obsession. They just wanted us to be doctors. And it's insidious as well, because when Asian parents want their kids to be doctors, helping people is like on the bottom of the list of reasons. Oh, if it even makes the list of reasons to go into medicine, helping people is like the unfortunate byproduct of becoming a healthcare professional. It's like when they first see that, they can't even believe it. They're like, what the fuck, you gotta help people? Or whatever, get it out of the way. But don't let it get in the way of what this is really about. It's about the money and the prestige, right? It's the money and the prestige. Because if you're a first-generation immigrant, your children becoming doctors is the quickest way. You can turn it around in one generation. Instant credibility, instant respectability, instant money. Right, you flip the clan narrative around, it's boom. Start from the bottom, now we're here, we doctors. And it's also weird because Asian parents are also the last group of people you can ever convince to see a doctor. Okay? Yo, these fucking people will never see a doctor. They spend their whole lives obsessing over it. Nothing can make my mom see a doctor. There's nothing. My mom could have an arrow going right through her. And she's trying to pull it out like Rambo, right? And you're like, yo, mom, let's go see a doctor. And my mom will be like, no, they just want to take people's money. And you're like, then why do you want your kids to be doctors so badly? Because I want my kids to take other people's money, obviously. The fact that you don't understand that is the reason why you never became a doctor.
Wow. The great man.
That was funny.
Funny. All right, what's your guess? Cholton Signer.
I reckon China fought a war.
Oh, wow. A salt war.
A salt war.
That sounds very...
I reckon, because minerals in the day...
Oh, yeah.
Still hard to get. I reckon they say that in years to come, we will have wars over water.
Oh, definitely.
Which scares me.
I saw that. I've seen that documentary with Kevin Costner in it. You seen that? Waterworld. It's good. They're fighting over water, aren't they? What's Mad Max? They fight over petrol, don't they?
Yeah.
We've got to think of a new movie with a new fighting over something.
We could fight over jokes.
Saffron or something weird. Like, you know, Glenn and Dave come with this great movie where they fight over basil. What? Yeah, no, there's a war about basil. What, basil?
How's it going? Not great.
Yeah.
I saw a TV. It wasn't good.
I told them to do oregano, but
yeah.
I'm going to say that China uses the most salt in the world per capita, per person. They're big salt users.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Sam, what is the answer?
China is the world leader in terms of salt production, with 64 million metric tons of salt produced in 2022. The increasing trend of salt production paralleled China's population growth.
Wow.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Does that mean that when I shake a bit of salt
It's Chinese
on my fish and chips at the fish and chip shop,
Could be Chinese.
Could be Chinese.
Could be Chinese.
Is there anything different about Chinese salt? What is
Dunno.
it? Sodium chloride? Is it more? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it?
Don't know.
Don't know. But they produce. So when they sit down and go, is it their biggest export?
I don't think so.
Because they import a lot, don't they?
Yeah. They import our iron ore and they give it back to us as metal and steel and stuff. Yeah, they sell it back to us.
Yeah.
And they also export a lot of plastic stuff and But you know what though? This is interesting. We got to wind it up, but they're being taken over by other more like Bangladesh and India and stuff in terms of cheap production. So remember China 10 years ago was like, go get something made there for $5.
Yeah,
Now, India and Bangladesh and countries later are doing it cheaper. And Africa will be the new powerhouse eventually. You heard
and
it
China
first.
will move more to mainstream production?
Yeah. It'll be more, I assume, like service industry stuff. I don't know. I'm not an economist, but it's going to change. So, okay, favourite fish and chip joke. You ready?
But hang on. You're setting the parameters for yourself. I think you're lobbing to your own forehand. You didn't tell me you were going to that we were going to do a fish and chip joke.
No, I'll just do mine. That's it.
Well, hang on. Let me just have a think if I've got a fish and chip joke.
I love this joke.
I don't think. No, I don't. I've got anecdotes. So you're a joke guy.
No, I'll just tell this joke.
Okay.
Guy goes in the fish and chip shop. He orders a bit of flake and minimum chips, right?
Yep.
A bit of fish and chips. He gets the order. He goes outside. He opens up the package and he's really angry. And he goes back into the fish and chip shop guy. He goes, "Hey mate, was this fish alive when you gave it to me?" And the guy goes, "No, why?" He goes, "Because it's eating all my fucking chips." Woo! Good night.